Hello and welcome back to the Sweet and Spicy Podcast. My name is Kate.
And I'm Cecily.
And today I brought a prop because we are coloring. We're coloring, apparently. We are covering another Ali Hazelwood book.
I mean, coloring is fun too.
It is, which is The Love Hypothesis, which is the first Ali Hazelwood book
that's
I ever read.
Thought it was. Okay. I remember this conversation from last season.
Yes, it's very good. So, I have read a total of 3 Ali Hazelwood books. Mm-hmm. This is the first one that I have ever read. And these 2 will have a very special place in my heart, okay? I love them.
No.
They are so sweet. Now, to talk about trigger warnings.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm making these up off of the top of my head, I'll be honest, because the book itself does not list them. Because there's really no trigger warnings for this book.
What? I'm sorry, what?
This is a sweet little rom-com.
With no triggers whatsoever? Not even like...
No, there's a couple of them.
I was going to say, not even like
obviously,
questionable, is this a trigger or is it not a trigger?
So, obviously, sexual scenes. This is one of them. It is a romance book. There is only one scene, though. So, keep that in mind with what you will.
Only one?
There's only one.
Is
2 if you count the bonus chapter that she adds in, which is just like that one scene from the guy's perspective, and there's a Freya.
But is the tension there?
Oh yeah, the tension is there the entire time.
Okay. If the tension is good, then I will allow only one scene.
Oh, and the actual scene,
rules.
Scene itself. So the scene itself also, we'll get into that later, Cecily. Now you're got me all kind of going. So the next trigger warning would be death of a parent. It is remembered. It doesn't happen time-wise. Neglect of parents. And I say that because our main male lead, he is the son of a diplomat. And so he's really just taken care of by au pairs. And so he talks about that a little bit. Yeah.
Neglect of a parent made it sound like he wasn't taking care of his elderly parents. I was like, well, that's rude.
Sorry. Parental neglect.
Okay.
And he even says he still loves his parents, but it's like a rocky relationship. Like, they're not like an emotion family. It's mostly like, I fed you, I gave you clothes, and I gave you what you needed to succeed in life.
I mean, that's the basics. He sounds like the average millennial.
Yeah. I mean, he mostly just had to figure out how to play by himself because he's also an only child. So, oh, you know what? There is sexual misconduct, sexual assault, not between the 2 leads together, but it does happen to the female lead. So, keep that in mind also.
Which is unfortunate. I mean, the statistics are like, what, 1 in 4 women?
I think it's gone down to 1 in 3.
Ugh, that's even worse.
And I believe they do say that at some point, women are, at one point in a woman's life, they are sexually assaulted in one way or another. Not
or
necessarily
harassed.
I believe harass is the word that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. So, out of that, though, because the guy that's in this book is a scumbag, and he gets what he deserves.
Good. I always like it when that happens.
And I believe, going through my brain here, I think that's it. I think that is genuinely all of the triggers.
Wow. 1 sex scene and barely any triggers.
It is a very happy ever after, as seen in The Deep End, where we talked about these characters very briefly, and I just kind of brought them up. But this is about Olive Smith and Adam Carlson. Okay? It's about Olive and Adam. If you can watch on YouTube, it's these 2. Very cute. Very drastic height difference. But not because she's short, because she's 5'8". He's just tall.
Good God.
Yeah. And I know she's 5'8" because she specifically states that she is 5'8". Because he calls her short while she's in heels, because he is still towering over her, even in heels.
Crazy.
I know, it's fun, isn't it? But. We're going to get into this now. So it starts out, you actually start out with a prologue with Olive rushing into the bathroom after her college interview at Stanford University. She's going for her PhD. Like, she's a lab student, I believe. Not a lab student. Yeah, I'm sorry. It is her PhD. She is going for her PhD. So she is an undergrad for her PhD. Adam Carlson is a professor at this university, at Stanford University.
Oh, no. Anyway.
So he is a professor. He is not her professor. He is never once her professor.
Okay. I mean,
we're going to start that off right away.
Okay.
He is never once in charge of anything that has to do with her academically.
How old are they?
He is 34. She is 26. Literally the same age difference as me and my husband.
Uh-huh.
Anyway. So. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to read you the back of this real quick because I think it's really nice and you really get a feel for the book. And then we're going to get into it and talk about it. And it's going to be very cute. So, when a fake relationship between scientists meets the irresistible force of attraction, it throws one woman's carefully calculated theories on love into chaos. That's just the cute little tagline.
No.
So, what happens is there's a prologue scene, obviously, that talks about her, and I started talking about it, but we're going to loop back now. That starts with her talking about her running off to the bathroom after she had her interview, or she was about to have her interview for Stanford University for her PhD program. So this is 3 years before the actual events happen.
Oh.
She runs into the bathroom. Well, what she doesn't know is that she actually runs into the bathroom of a lab. So a lab's bathroom. Well, they don't actually use the lab's bathroom as a bathroom. They use it to dispose of solvents and things. Well, the reason she had to run into this bathroom is because she was going blind. Because she decided to wear expired contacts.
Oops.
Because she had to put in expired contacts. Because she was like, I've done this before. So a guy walks in, tells her this. Hey, this is not where you're supposed to be. She starts asking him a couple questions like, oh, hey, like, oh, do you already go here? Like, PhD program, yeah. She thinks he's a student.
Him's not a student.
We don't know that yet.
But we're assuming.
We're assuming he's not a student because he's not actually answering any of her questions. He just says, my lab. And she is inferencing, oh, he must be a student because this is his lab where he works. Fast forward. 3 years. Olive is working on her project for pancreatic cancer. She's trying to figure out the signs of pancreatic cancer, okay? She's very good science. She's super sciencey because her mother died of pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic.
It ain't patriotic. It's pancreatic, no. And it's one of the worst ones. My uncle had it.
And that is exactly why she's studying it, because her mother died almost immediately. She talks about it later on in the book, that her mother died within 3 weeks. So they found out, and then 3 weeks later she was gone.
Yeah, if you're that one is bad. I feel
and it's
for
very
anybody
difficult
who gets that one.
And it's very difficult to find. But she was training, I believe, like they were trying to figure out with mice and everything like that. So I guess that is another trigger, and I'm so sorry that I did not put it in with the triggers. They do animal testing. They never talk about the mice dying. She never kills the mice. But I believe she's training them to sniff out the pancreatic cancer because she's trying to figure out if there's a way to detect it earlier on.
Well, if they're not, like, testing stuff on the animals, that's not quite animal testing.
They are in some aspects, but, like, not a ton. It's a little weird.
That's another trigger for...
Yeah, that's another trigger. But it's a little iffy. Because she never kills the animals. No, it is never discussed that they kill them, and it's kind of, like, alluded to that the mice are tested on, but never, like, killed for this purpose. So, keep
as
that
nice
in mind.
as you could possibly be for animal testing.
Yes, in a PhD laboratory, because we all know it does happen with tests in mice and things. Sadly, that is how science progresses, because we can't really test them on humans at a certain point. So, I don't agree with it. I think we should find better ways, because mice are really smart.
I mean, there are those
moving on into
test on dangerous criminals, but that's a whole other argument, and that's not the subject of this podcast.
Not at all.
Anyway,
moving on back into Happy La La Land. Okay, moving back on to Happy La La Land.
Fiction, yes.
Rom-com La La Land.
Got it.
So she's testing. It's really late. It's like 12 p.m. She convinces her best friend that she is okay with her best friend dating the guy that she dated, because she was not attracted to this guy at all. She dated him for like, they went on like a date or 2 dates, and her best friend An thinks that she can't date this guy named Jeremy because Olive had like seen him, and she didn't want to be a bad best friend or anything, and she didn't want to believe. Yeah, even though Olive is explicitly telling her, hey, please, you can go do this. Like, it's really not that big a deal. You guys would be really great together. Like, you should go do this. Because she can literally see An and Jeremy, like, pining after each other, but, like, not wanting to cross that line. She's being, like, as great a friend as possible. So, she comes up with this idea that if she thinks she's out on a date, that maybe she'll actually go after Jeremy, because she thinks she's happy and she's not, like, attached to this guy, whatever. So she tells An she's on a date, even though she's actually in the lab, you know, doing her project, doing her PhD
doing
project.
Her science.
Yes, her research project. So she's doing her research project, and then An and Jeremy, or An, I believe it's just An, walks through, and she said, shit, I'm supposed to be on a date. She bolts, sees the first guy in the dark, doesn't really register who it is, says, can I kiss you? And then kisses him. Doesn't wait for a response. Awesome. She thinks that she has gotten a yes response. She didn't. She was panicked and kissed him, and then An walked by. They kissed for a while. She separated from him. He looks at her, she looks back up at him to say, thank you, I'm so sorry, and realizes that it's Professor Carlson. Professor Adam Carlson, the known professor who's an ass and makes his undergrads cry over their projects.
Nice.
So he's known to be an ass. Adam Carlson is like, what?
Flabbergasted.
Just happened? Like, he's flabbergasted.
His flabbers be gasted.
Have been flabbered.
That's not how it goes.
No, it's not. You had it right.
What are you doing?
I've driven a lot today. My brain. Okay. So anyway, they get to this point where he brings up I-9s, or the I-9 committee. I believe that's what it is. He said, I'll go back to my office and start working on my Title IX, which is the sexual harassment claim.
Oh my god. Okay, that response is kind of amazing.
Yes, I love this book. You really need to read it. So let me actually go to that page again because it really is hilarious. Oh, I forgot to mention, Olive is a,
Olive, the other reindeer. Sorry,
Olive is Canadian.
Been waiting on that.
Olive is Canadian.
Canadian.
She's Canadian.
Okay.
So the whole thing is, so I'm trying to. He says, "Did you just kiss me?" Like, he's super confused about what's going on. Super puzzled. She says, "Nope." He says, "Okay then."
Nope. Sure did it. Okay.
He says, "Okay then." And then he says, "Are you sure?" She internally says, "Damn it." And she says, and she starts stuttering. It's not the way it looks. He said, "Okay, okay, what's going on here?" She has no way to explain this without sounding absolutely insane.
Ridiculous.
Because obviously this man is the known ass. He has no emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks he's just grumpy. And then she said, listen, I don't mean to be rude, but this is really none of your business.
Bro, you just violated him.
And then his response to that, he stared at her for a moment, he nodded and said, "Yes, of course." So she's a little, okay, cool, like starting to get relief. And so he said, like, pretty normal, "I'll just go back to my office and begin to work on my Title IX complaint." She's relieved, right? She exhales a relief, says, "Yeah, that would be great sense." "Wait, you're what?" He said, "Title IX is a federal law that protects against sexual misconduct within academic settings."
Bro.
And then they talk about how he was like, "Well, you did kiss me, without my consent." And she said, "No, I got your consent." He goes, "No, you didn't." Like, I'm pretty sure you didn't. But that's okay, because he needs her too. So after, like, many banter, right? And I believe it takes a day or something. They begin to start fake dating, because she really wants On to be happy with Jeremy, because they think she's, like, they would be perfect together. And, well, Stanford considers him a flight risk. She gets freaked out by this comment, and she's like, "Oh my god, he is a criminal. It's criminal."
A flight risk?
Yes. Meaning they're scared he's going to leave Stanford to go to another university to be a professor because he started to collaborate with a guy from Harvard. And they've known that Harvard and other institutions have been trying to get him multiple times, okay? So he is pretty sought after. He's very, very, like, smart.
Which
think
explains
later on
why
in the
he's
book,
an ass.
Yes. Later on in the book, they call him one of the greatest minds of their time. He has multiple publications, like many, many different things that he does, right? So, this man, he convinces her to stay, to get, like, they fake date, essentially. And she says she only needs a month to convince. And he said, "Well, I need a little longer than that. I need until, like, September 29th.
Very
She
specific.
said, "Okay, that's, like," yes, she was very confused about the specificity. Words are hard. She was very confused, so she asked him, like, why so specific? And he said, "Oh, well, that's the day that they decide. That's the day after they have their budget meeting and decide whether they're going to unfreeze my funds that they've decided to freeze." He said, "And I believe that I will become less of a flight risk if they
feel that he's in a serious relationship.
If they feel that he has a reason to stay. Because he doesn't own a house, he rents. He has, like, at the end of the year, I think all of his projects that he's currently working on are done. He has no family there. He has no, like, lasting ties there. He wants to start new experiments, but he can't without this funding.
Gotcha.
I believe they also mentioned that, like, most of his PhD students are leaving and he doesn't have any real new ones either. Maybe I'm making that up. I think that is something that they said, though. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that part. So, honestly, don't quote me on any of this, because it's coming from my brain from the book that I read over the past 2 days. Reread, to be fair. I've read it before, but it's probably like the 3rd or 4th time I've read this book. So I feel like I got this. But basically they go through this whole sort of events of them fake dating. An is completely convinced. It spreads like wildfire. She only told An so that An would feel comfortable dating Jeremy. And so An saw them in their awkward kiss and was like, oh, you gonna tell me about that? Why the fuck were you kissing Adam Carlson? Professor Carlson, why? And she was like, it looked real awkward. And so she explains, oh, he just asked me out. And then so we went on a date and yada, 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 end up here. She is terrible at trying to convince her friend of this. Her friend does eventually become convinced, though, because they walk into everybody knows, because An tells Jeremy. Jeremy tells everyone.
Hot goss.
Though, this becomes a really good thing for Olive, though, because she no longer has to hide, like, her equipment. And she's no longer fighting for, like, equipment to use, because nobody wants to piss off Adam Carlson's girlfriend.
Hey, benefits are always great.
She always talks about how she no longer has to hide her pipettes, which is like a pretty big thing, I guess, in academia. So this entire thing is her trying to fix her, like, still go through with her experiment. Obviously, she's still a student, she's still a PhD undergrad, she's still doing all this. They have.
So, are you allowed to date a professor as long as it's not your professor?
So, according to the book, it is ethically frowned upon, like, within the culture, but not actually legally frowned upon. They just have to disclose that to HR. He just has to disclose to the dean or, like, the head
that he's dating
of the
a
school
student.
That he is dating a student, so that they know that he cannot be a part of her academia. So, like, if she, because it does actually mention it. It does talk about this, which is really important.
I mean, colleges and universities can be huge. So it's like,
yes.
Why can't you date a professor that you're never actually going to sit under?
Yeah.
Depending on how old they are.
Yeah, I mean, get that dough. Actually.
Yeah, from a professor?
No. But anyway. It actually talks about
research.
It does
professor,
actually.
Baby.
It does actually talk in that book that academia is a lot of bang for very little buck. So they go through this course of events. She actually gets offered a fellowship to go work at Harvard for a year. So she's kind of getting offered this, but not really. Like, she's got an interview and everything for it. So, I don't remember his name. Off the top of my head. But anyway, a really important guy from Harvard emails her back, talks to her about this stuff. So, everybody at Stanford thinks that they really are dating. Every time she walks by him, An is like, hey, you should go see your boyfriend. Hey, you should go see your boyfriend. Like, hey, like, go do it. Go do it. And she's like, no, like, I'll go see him later. Whatever. They're both super awkward, super not comfortable doing any of this. But at one point, the guy from Harvard is actually coming for a week or 2 weeks, a week or two, because he's got a colleague that he's working with.
Oh, no.
On a shared project.
Oh, no.
So she is supposed to go the next year, go spend a year in his lab working with him, trying to fix her project because she needs more funding because her advisor currently and her professor currently that she works under is retiring. So she's not looking for more funding, she's not trying to gain more funding, and Olive really needs the more funding and the better equipment to be able to do this research properly. So that's a whole thing. Well, she's with Adam, right? They have this thing that they do every Wednesday. They meet for 15 minutes and get coffee.
No.
He, of course, orders black coffee.
Like his soul.
She orders the sugariest, most, like, funky named items all the time. Oh, where was I?
Coffee dates.
Coffee dates. Thank you. So they're on coffee dates. She's gonna pay for her coffee, and then he's like, I'm not letting you pay for your coffee. I'm not gonna let you spend 3/4 of your undergrad salary at the Starbucks on campus. And she said, you really don't have to. And he goes, no, like, I know what you make. It's fine. And she said, well, thank you. And so then she also grabs a muffin or a cookie. She grabs a cookie, a banana, and a pack of gum.
Well, dang.
And then her drink as well. He pays the $20-some. They said $20-some. Like, that is not the price of that, but okay. Maybe back when this book was made, to be fair.
Maybe when the book was written, because right about now,
yes.
No. Not a chance.
There's no chance. But, yeah, it was like $20-some for her stuff, and then his one black coffee. So they sit, she drinks her coffee or whatever a little bit, and they talk. Very, very few and far between. They're really just picking up coffee. I don't believe they even sit, actually, now that I think about it. I think they genuinely are just picking up coffees and stuff, and then they go, because that's their 15 minutes.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. He judges her so hard for what she orders.
I mean...
So hard. She judges him, too, so it's fine. I think she says, of course, the broody Adam Carlson is gonna get black coffee. And then he's like, you really should just call me Adam. He's like, if you're gonna sell this, you really should just call me Adam.
If we're dating, you should probably call me by my first name. Maybe babe, baby.
So they do the first names. They don't do the babe and baby thing.
No nickname.
They do the first names. Well, the guy from Harvard shows up at their second one. And their second little coffee date. The second Wednesday or whatever. What's really funny, though, is she orders for him. She orders, like, a unicorn frappuccino or something like that. Because at the time that this book was written, the unicorn frappuccino was a thing from Starbucks. That's how long it's been for this book. But she orders either that at some point, but she also orders all the time, like, different funky things. She orders him a chamomile tea. She's like, you don't need coffee. Without brooding and stuff you are. Because I think he was Mr. Grumpy or whatever, and she was like, you don't need more coffee right now. And so she made him, and he didn't protest. He actually still paid for it and drank it. And he legitimately looked at her and he goes, I hate tea. I especially hate chamomile. He said, I especially hate chamomile tea.
I do not want to be calm.
He said, it's the worst tea.
I mean,
so
tea tastes like grass.
I like tea.
I try
but
to
I have
like
specific tea. I have specific teas that I like. There's other ones that I don't like.
I try to like tea. It's a struggle.
I know you do. I know. It's okay. You don't have to like tea.
Grass.
That's okay. You can think it tastes like grass. That's your opinion. Your opinion might be wrong, but it's still an opinion.
My opinion is never wrong. The audacity.
Okay, you Aries. Let's keep going.
It do be like that.
It really do. Anyway, so they're leaving this coffee place on campus. They're walking out, and who do they bump into but the Harvard guy? The Harvard guy. And he said, Adam, it's so nice to see you. And he calls the Harvard guy by his name. And he's like, oh, hi. I think his name is Ted?
Ted? That sounds like a white man who goes to Harvard.
Maybe it's Ted? Anyway, you find out that he and Adam actually were in the same undergrad program, PhD program at Harvard together. Because Adam went to Harvard, by the way.
Well, no wonder they think he's just going to run off to Harvard.
That is another reason, yes. Adam went to Harvard. Okay. So then they end up back inside the coffee joint. Because she introduces herself, because he's like, oh, this must be the girlfriend I've heard so much about. And Adam's like, you heard about my girlfriend in Boston? And he's like, yeah. He goes, who's talking about my girlfriend in Boston? He goes, everybody. You're you.
Dang.
Yes. So they go inside, they chat, because he finds out who Olive is and that she's actually a third-year PhD student that he's been talking to. So he sits down with her and starts chatting, because they were supposed to meet later that day anyway to go over her project. Mm-hmm. But they just start talking then. And so he starts talking to her, asking questions. He asks, like, the stupidest questions. He says, so what's cool about your project? And Adam legitimately goes, that's a bullshit question. He goes, ask better questions. Don't waste my girlfriend's time with these stupid questions.
Ask better questions. I love it.
And so he's looking at the guy, and the guy's like, fine, Mr. Broody Pants. Like, I'll ask better questions. What questions would you like me to ask? And then Adam Carlson goes over like 5 or 6 very important questions that you would actually ask somebody in this situation. Like, what is the main principles? What is the reason? Like, yada yada. Like, about her project itself. And then after she explains all this, answers his questions, the guy legitimately asks her, so what's your reason for doing this? Because most, PhD undergrads don't start their own lines of research. They join on others. So what's your purpose for this? And she said, well, it's just a really bad thing. He goes, so who had it in your family? And she goes, and Adam is like, stop, you don't know. Like, you don't do that. And he goes, and she goes, it was my mom. Like, she answers the question. And he's like, you probably would get, I didn't see any mention of that in your papers that you submitted, though. Like, you should probably mention that. Like, that's a pretty decent place that might get you a little bit farther, with your stuff. It might make people look at it. And she goes, I'm not really comfortable. And then Adam immediately is like, she doesn't have to do that. You don't have to talk about this. She doesn't have to talk about this. Remember, they've only been doing this for like 2 weeks.
Amazing.
And he's straight up like full boyfriend mode. And then anyway, the guy from Harvard is like, oh, I have this symposium, or like I'm giving a talk while I'm here. You should come. And she goes, oh yeah, I've been so excited to come see that. And then so, they chit chat, and then they're like, oh, we have to run. Like, I have class to get to. Like, I have a research thing to get to. And Adam is like, yeah, I gotta go see my students. Whatever. So they leave. And Olive legitimately turns to him after that and goes, what talk is he talking about? Adam says, I'll text you the detail. Or I'll email you the details. I'll email them to you. I'll email you the details. And he said, you should pay
can't wait.
He's like, and make sure that you pay attention when they're there. When they're there, On and her go to this, and then they realize it's absolutely jam-packed. People are already standing. They're not like there's people standing and everything because On is like, yeah, I think there's like two groups of groups of undergrad that have to be here for this.
Dang.
So they go in and On spots Carlson. Goes, oh hey, Olive, there's your boyfriend. There's Carlson. Why don't you go sit with him? Why don't you go sit on his lap? And she goes, I'm not doing that. That'll be uncomfortable, whatever.
That's inappropriate.
Yeah, and she goes, nobody cares, All. Nobody cares. She goes, I'm pretty sure, and she names off two people, and goes, they were making out at the last ones, and, like, their other, like, best friend, and I, again, blanking on his name. It starts with an M, though. And I feel really bad because he's one of my favorites. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Un momento. Because I know it's in here some, like, pretty soon. Malcolm. Her best friend, Malcolm. That's her roommate, too. But anyway. So, Malcolm, she's like, and I'm pretty sure, and Malcolm once said that he's pretty sure he saw X and Y giving hand jobs to each other.
What? In a symposium?
In a college talk. She goes, nobody cares, All. Like, no one cares. And so she's like, I'm still, like, it's not, and then Carlson sees her. Adam sees her. And he says hi. And he's sitting next to Professor Rodriguez, who you then later on in the book, you find out is Adam's best friend from, like, elementary school. They've been besties for years. Because his parent was also a diplomat. So
Gotcha.
they were, like, diplomat friends, okay? So they've been, like, together for a while now. Like, friends-wise, right? And so they walk up, and he's like, oh, yada yada, like, so nice to see you. And then Adam's like, here, you can sit here. And he goes to stand up, and then Anna's like, no offense, Professor Carlson, but I'd like to actually be able to see. Can't she just sit on your lap? Like, that's... And she's like, no, like... And he goes, it's up to her, like, and she looks at him and she goes, are you really okay with this? Like, they have, like, a mutual understanding, but, like, between eyes, like, are you sure? Like, they say that they talk with their eyes, like, are you sure? And he's like, and he nods at her, like, yes, like, it's fine, you can sit on my lap. And then she says, I now know what the most comfortable seat in the entire world is, and it is on top of Adam Carlson. She said it is, in fact, in the lap of Adam Carlson.
I mean, is it in the lap, or should it really be on his face?
We're not there yet. Anyway.
I'm just saying, there might be better seats in the house, that's all.
To be fair, she never sits there. Things happen, but she never sits there.
I just like making you make that look on your face.
What the?
Like, I literally just sit here sometimes and try to come up with the wildest thing I can say to throw you off.
To stop me, to ruin my train of thought.
Yes, it entertains me.
I just let you go.
But it entertains me.
I know it entertains you, but it distracts me. Anyway, coming back to the point here.
Best seat in the house.
Yes. NT Way. NT Way. So she's comfortable or whatever on top of him. He talks to her, like, he puts his hand, like, around her waist and, like, holds her there.
Yes,
and she's like, her legs are in between his two legs, and his hand is on her hip, and she's, like, sitting on one of his thighs. And kind of, like, leaned into him.
Adorable.
Oh, yeah. And she's like,
a
are
dirty
you
Santa Claus.
she like whispers, oh yeah, she whispers into his ear. She's like, are you sure you're okay with this? Like, and she goes, I'm probably too heavy. And he goes, oh yeah, super heavy. And like starts moving his leg and is like super easily moving her. And he's like, you're not heavy. So they go through this, and he goes, oh, by the way, you should pay attention. He's probably going to ask you questions about it later. And she said, I already know all of this. I've read his research on it. Because she had to do her research for, like, which programs and things that she wanted to actually apply to be, like, a part of.
Fair.
So she did that. And she's like, I already know all this. So then afterwards, the guy comes and talks to her again. He's like, can you send me this by Saturday? Like, our deadlines of whatever have been moved up. Like, I'm leaving sooner. Can you send it to me Saturday? So that way I can look it over on the weekend, and then we can discuss if I have any questions. Because him and Adam are going to go to Harvard for, like, a couple days. To finish, like, evening out some grant money and things. So she says, sure. She writes up her paper. She's trying to write her paper, and then she's there really late at night. She goes to the break room, essentially, I believe. It's like a student-teacher lounge, to go buy a bag of chips that she saw in there, and she remembers having $1 worth of quarters in her pocket. And she saw that bag of salt and vinegar chips, and she said, you will be mine. She leaves. She comes back a couple hours later. It's been like 3 hours she's been working on this thing, right? She comes back. The chips, gone. Gone are the chips.
I mean, that's how vending machines work.
She legitimately went, ugh, they stole my chips. And she was mad, okay? And so she's like, gets a Twix instead. Turns around. Guess who's sitting there? None other than Adam. In the dark.
What the heck, bro?
It's like, it's not dark, but it's like dark-ish, I guess. He's not like sitting in the dark. It's mostly like, it's just nighttime and she didn't realize him, and like outside part is dark. So she turns around, she sees him. He's eating. You know what he's eating?
Her chips.
Fucking chips.
I mean, they're really not her chips. That's not how a vending machine works.
No,
at all.
not, but she's so mad about it.
I mean, technically, she could have got them and just took them with her.
She was so mad about them. She was so. That's what I thought. But you know, I digress. I guess she has no self-control, and she wanted to be able to get through her 3 hours of work and then reward herself.
Okay.
Which, okay, I can understand no self-control. Whatever. So she looks at him and she goes, you stole my chips. And he said, these ones? And eats another one. And she said, yes, those ones. And he goes, you can have them. And she goes, really? And he said, yeah, I don't even think I ate that many of them. I think I only ate like 1 or 2. He goes, you can have the rest of them. So she takes them, and then she's like, do you want to split my Twix with me? And he goes, absolutely not. And she goes, why? And he goes, chocolate is disgusting.
What?
Your face. Yeah. Yeah, the man hates chocolate. And so she said, of course you would hate one of the best things in the world. You just hate joy. And he said, no, it's just gross.
No.
So anyway, he doesn't like chocolate. They go through this whole thing. She eats chips.
To be fair, it's a Twix, and Twix is meh.
I don't mind Twix, but like there's other options. So anyway, they go through that. They end up like sitting there together and like getting real cozy and like talking and stuff. Guess who walks in?
Who?
Her bestie. And her roommate. Her bestie roommate. None other than Malcolm himself. Think about it for a second. None other than Malcolm himself, okay? So he walks in, and he sees her, and he sees him, and he gets freaked out. Malcolm is the only one that knows they're fake dating. At this point, Olive has already discovered about herself that she's falling for this actual man. Mm-hmm. And I've missed a part. We're going to go back in a second.
Okay.
So she doesn't process, we talk about her, she doesn't process attraction the same way as other people. Like, she actually has to get to know them and understand them and, like, be around them to actually feel some form of attraction.
Demisexual.
Yeah, it's kind of like she's demisexual. So she actually has to get to know somebody and trust them and like them to even feel some form of attraction to them.
Got it.
Which is why she was completely fine with letting Jeremy go. She's like, I don't like this man. Malcolm made me go on a date with this man. I don't like him. Ann and Jeremy, though, they have gotten together. They're cute. They're lovey. They like each other.
Oh.
Olive could not be happier about it. Okay? Could not be happier about the fact that her best friend is, like, out there getting dick down. So... So Malcolm walks in. He said, oh, you know, me and Olive, you gonna come back? Like, I'm about to head that way, you know, whatever. And she said, yeah, I'll come with you. And like, Adam Carlson is so sad that she's leaving. But, you know, she leaves, and he says, bye, Olive, bye. And so she leaves. They were having a moment, okay? Mm-hmm. And he was talking about his family. This is when she finds out about his family and, like, his friendships and with Holden. With Holden Rodriguez, by the way. I don't think I said his name first. His name's Holden. But they're talking and, like, they find out a little bit more about each other. And then, then they go back or whatever. The only reason that Malcolm knows is because Malcolm he owed at this girl, okay? Because Adam Carlson failed him. Failed his project the year before. What you do find out, though, is Adam Carlson is not deliberately failing these people for funsies. He's genuinely just trying to make sure that they understand that their research can be better and how to make it better. Because his professor wasn't like that when he went to undergrad. And he wanted to be very upfront about the fact that this is about your research, not about you. And he wanted to tell them how to fix it and become better scientists. But the way that he does it, it does not come off like that. It comes off as, I'm a dick. Back up a little bit. So they come out of, Ann and Olive come out of the biology building one day. And they're like, huh, that's really weird. The entire biology parking lot and, like, road to get out of the biology building is, like, filled with cars, of people honking, of, like, just stop dead traffic. And they're like, that's weird. So they walk up, and one of the professors, I don't remember which one off the top of my head, I know it was the woman, I think it's her specific professor, her truck breaks down, her truck battery dies while she's leaving, and so she gets stuck in, like, a weird little, like, she was trying to pull off, and, like, it got stuck, essentially. So she's pretty much cutting off all roads of traffic. So she sees her talk to Adam.
Uh-oh.
And then Adam, by himself, pushes the truck out of traffic.
Okay.
By himself. No help.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. This very, like, anyway, this very stoic, like, I am only in it for the science man has just moved an entire truck out of the way of traffic by himself. Manual pushing.
Of another professor?
Of another professor.
Okay.
Ann is like, bro, you need to go give your boyfriend a kiss after that. Like, that was epic. So she pushes Olive. Olive goes over there. This man is sweaty. Olive had already been sewn in because he picked up his shirt to, like, wipe his face off. and like she could barely see any bit of him. He picked up the top part to wipe his face off, basically, around his collar, and so she could see like part of his midriff, and this sent this girl into like a crazed horny era. She was like, damn, this man is attractive. I don't know why that's attractive. Because you like him. That's why. Like, that's all.
I mean, men doing manly things is attractive. It's just the problem is nowadays men don't do manly shit. So there's that. Yeah. Some do.
Anyway.
Mine does.
I know yours does. We're going to continue on. Mine does sometimes.
Sometimes. I like how you said sometimes.
You've met mine. Am I wrong?
I know. You're not.
No. He's just very computer based. And I'm proud of him, and he's very good at what he does. But yeah. He likes doing his manly stuff. He just doesn't do it often. But anyway. So she walks up to him, talks to him, and he's like, hey, An really tells me that I have to kiss you. I want to make sure it's okay this time, before I kiss you. And he
My friend told me I had to come kiss you after you did this very macho man thing. What the hell?
Remember, they're fake dating.
Okay, but still.
And so she's like, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. Like, I'm not just coming up to you for shits and giggles. Like, there's a thing. Anna's, like, pushing me to kiss you or whatever.
I mean, it is for shits and giggles.
Oh, yeah. So he says, okay, I mean, there's a lot of faculty and staff here. Like, it would go to my favor as well, technically. So she does. She kisses him. And he holds on to her and kisses her. They don't use tongue or anything like that. She says it's like a long peck, but it's like just it's just a little over a peck. And then she says bye to him. He says bye to her.
And people are buying this? This just sounds really awkward.
Yes. So she walks off.
I guess
to be
science nerds kind of vibes that make sense.
On legitimately said, I didn't believe it at first. I'll be honest. I didn't believe you. After this interaction, she's like, I didn't believe you. That first kiss was hella awkward. But then you sat on his lap and y'all looked cozy and comfy. And the way that he was looking at you, that man likes you. And then, after this, she was like, yeah, okay, that first kiss was just an awkward kiss. I guess this one was not awkward. Because Olive actually, like, reached her hand up to, like, grab his neck or whatever and pull him down a little bit. Like, it sounds awkward, and they think it's awkward, but everybody else is like, no, y'all together.
Y'all together. We see the chemistry.
Together. We see the chemistry. It's a science building, but we're in biology. Anyway. Anyway, back to this. So, everybody's buying this, okay? Mm-hmm. So then, the Harvard professor, we're fast forwarding a little bit, the Harvard professor is like, hey, I have a question about your research about the thing that you submitted to me, because she sends it in. Can you come over to Adams and, like, explain it to me? Because he's staying at Adams, because they're friends from college. So she's like, yeah. She texts him. It's the first time she's ever texted this man.
Like, bro, what the fuck's your address?
She says, hey, he wants me to, Tom wants, it's Tom. His name is Tom.
It came to you.
It did. It was not Ted, it was Tom.
Close.
So, yeah, it's the same thing. T names, it's fine. White men T names. It's fine. Am I wrong?
No.
I associate
not at all.
I associate both of those names with, like, middle-aged white men.
Correct.
So anyway, he shows up, or she texts him, and realizes that he's only ever given her his phone number. She's never texted him. It's why he doesn't text her. So he's like, Olive? ? And that's when she dawns on her and she goes, yes. And he said, yeah, I don't care. You can come over. Like, I'll pick you up if you want. And she said, no, it's fine. I'll just Uber. So she Ubers. She gets there. Because he's so worried about her because she bikes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, to my house, there's no bike lanes. Like, I can pick you up. I don't want you to, like, no, unsafe.
Aww.
Oh, it's real cute. You can tell at this point this man is gone for her. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't know. She hasn't.
Oblivious.
As smart as this woman is, she has not put two and two together.
That's how it goes.
It does. So basically, she's doing this whole thing. You know, she shows up. He shows up, but it's after he's gone for a run. So he shows up after this run, whatever.
In the athletic wear. Yes,
in the athletic wear, but he has a shirt on.
But sweaty from the run.
He is sweaty. He is very sweaty.
I'm just setting the scene.
Somehow and some way, and I don't know how, it's either when he gets there or after or when she goes to leave, he picks her up. I believe. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. That doesn't happen yet. This is not. That does not happen at his house.
Okay.
My bad. So she goes inside with him. They sit and chat. Her and Tom sit and chat, right, about her project. And he actually asks her questions. She answers them. Cool. Adam goes and takes a shower for 20 minutes, comes back, and he's like, hey, when you're done, I'll drive you back over to campus because, like, I have to go there anyway. She says, okay. And Tom's like, oh, we're done. You're good. We're good. She answered all my questions, whatever. And so Olive's leaving. She goes, oh, I guess I didn't get it. Like, and he's going to just send me the refusal letter or whatever. And he goes, oh, Olive, before I forget, I'll see you in Harvard next year for this project. And he goes, just let me know when you're planning to come so that way, you know, I'll set up a time for me, you, and Adam to hang out because I'm sure he's going to bring you down there. And she said, I will see you then. And she walks out and she, like, leaves and closes the door. And then as they walk out, she's so excited. She's bouncing around and happy. She's like, oh my God, I did it. And Adam is like, congratulations. And she's like, did he do that just because I'm your girlfriend, though? Like, he thinks I'm your girlfriend. He goes, no, Tom's not like that. Like, he doesn't do that. He said, I once watched him fire his cousin because they dropped a beaker. He has no qualms. Anyway.
Valid.
So Adam's humor throughout this whole thing is very dry humor and very sarcasm. And he calls her a little smartass the entire time. Because she is one, and it's lovely, and it's funny. So, it's a cute little thing. So Olive gets invited to do this conference, to be in this conference. And she had already submitted to it. She was already going. She submitted to it. Because most of them do. And they usually expect to get a poster or, like, a very, like, quick, like, PowerPoint. She got an entire talk. She was the only grad student that got a talk.
Fancy.
Most of them were professors and things. So, they're gonna go. Well, she sets up to set up a room with Malcolm and On because they're like, oh yeah, we'll just go together, you know, whatever. And then Malcolm is just standing there quiet and On is like, so about that. Malcolm is dead silent, won't make eye contact with Olive. Olive is like, what? On said, well, Jeremy's grant is paying for him to go to this because of his poster. Okay. So I was going to stay with him and save money. Okay, well then me and Malcolm can... And Malcolm's like, and I also kind of already have a room. And she said, what? And Autumn's like, and we figured, you know, since you're dating Carlson, you can just stay with him because, you know, you're going to be there anyway. You can stay with Adam. And she goes, oh, okay. And then An's like, oh, I gotta go. Like, I'm supposed to meet Jeremy. And she looks at Malcolm and goes, you suck. And walked off. And he said, no, Olive, I'm sorry. Like, this wasn't, like, it was a thing that happened. I couldn't really tell her why you couldn't stay with Carlson. Like, what do you want me to do? And she's like, I understand. She goes, but you couldn't have even just said that, like, you already were going to get, what happened to our plan? He goes, well, the guy that I just dated, he hates me because I broke up with him and he egged my car. Euro Geo, I think is what he was called or something like that.
Euro Geo.
He goes, and he egged my car. He goes, so I was staying with two friends to, like, so he didn't realize where I was staying, so he couldn't go mess with me. And just Olive is like, okay, so how the hell am I going to find a place to stay now? Because I can't stay with Carlson. I can't stay with Adam. So she's sitting there.
Yeah, you can.
So she's sitting there looking for discount things or whatever. She's looking for these discount hotel rooms,
She doesn't get a room as, like, a speaker?
No, because it's not off of a grant that she's going.
Well, that's some garbage. Dude's got a poster and he got a room.
So that was because that was part of his grant.
I don't care. That's stupid. She's
so his grant itself had money to pay for it, and hers did
But
not,
if you invite someone to speak somewhere, you provide a place for them to rest their head.
She was just a panel speaker, though. She's not like the keynote.
I don't care. This is basic etiquette.
Anyway.
This is basic Southern hospitality.
Well, they're not inside.
Obviously.
And this thing is in Boston. This conference is in Boston.
Obviously.
So, anyway.
Basic
courtesy. And I've skipped a couple, like, really cute little spots, especially one where I'm just going to very quickly go through this. She was at the coffee shop with Malcolm, and they were talking, and Carlson happened to overhear her literally bleeding her heart out to Malcolm about how she's fallen for this guy and that she likes him and she, you know, she's in love with him and this and that. And he walks up, and he's just standing behind her, and Malcolm's just staring at him, like... Because Malcolm was like, so are you going to tell him? Like, you need to tell him, you know, whatever. And she's like, and he just, like, is behind her, and she goes, in her brain, she goes, oh, frick, it's Wednesday. At the time that I'm supposed to meet him in the coffee shop that I'm supposed to meet him at. And he says, hi, Olive. And she goes, hey. And then Malcolm's like, I'm gonna go, you know, I have a thing to get to. I'm gonna go, packs up his stuff real quick and leaves. Goodbye, Olive. And leaves.
I gotta get out of here.
And so she leaves. She lies to this man and convinces him it's not about him.
Girl.
She lies to this man and convinces him it's not about him.
No. Unacceptable.
So she convinces him it's not about him. Obviously, they go about their days. He's upsetty spaghetti about it.
Of course. Him's devastated.
She doesn't... Ooh, I hit the mic. My bad.
Now he's making loud noises in the headphones.
Oh, shush. He doesn't know. I mean, she doesn't know. She doesn't understand. Because she just didn't want to tell him and then him, like, go off and do it. Because Holden came up to her and told her that he's really glad that Carlson asked her out, finally, after hearing about this girl that he's been talking about for, like, 3+ years.
Oh, no. Who's that girl?
It's Olive.
He's been creeping on her for 3 years?
The bathroom.
Oh, my God.
He's liked her since then, and he wasn't going to act on it because he didn't want to jeopardize her career in case, like, because if she needed to go under him as his student, he didn't want to mess up her chances.
Oh, jeez.
Because he was like, I don't want to mess up her career and, like, her options and, you know,
So she thinks it's some other female.
Yes.
Octolieber.
So that's the whole thing. She thinks it's some other
I'm going to interject with my husband's favorite line. This could all be solved with a little bit of communication.
Yes, it could be. So anyway, she, again, gets a super fruity drink or whatever, like, sugary drink. He still judges her for it. They're cool. He catches her later on looking at, and I believe this is now where that scene where with the chips comes in.
Okay.
Because then or maybe that's a little after, or that's a little before this next scene, which is like she's looking up these hotels or whatever, and they're like an hour plus away from the place in Boston. And he goes, "What are you planning on doing? Biking the entire way? Like, why aren't you going for a room that's closer?" She goes, "Well, I tried and I couldn't get one because they were all booked up." And he goes, "Weren't you supposed to go with, why don't you just stay with one of your friends, like, in one of theirs?" She goes, "Well, Anna's staying with Jeremy, and, you know, Malcolm already had plans with 2 other people, whatever. They kind of screwed me on that because Ann thinks we're dating, so she thinks that I should just stay with you, and I can't do that." Obviously, he goes, "Yeah, you can." He goes, "You can just stay with me." And she goes,
"You can."
She goes, "No, because then, like, we'd have to share a bed." And he goes, "No, I have a double. Like, it's a double room. Like, you can stay there. It's not a problem. We wouldn't even share a bed." And she goes, "No,
share it
because
anyway."
She said, "No, because it's they say it's a double, and they always say it's a double, but it never ends up being a double. It's always just a single." And he goes, "What are you talking about? Like, I can show you my confirmation if you want." And she goes, and then in her head she's like, "Oh my god. He doesn't he doesn't watch rom-coms. He doesn't read books." And she goes, "No, the rom-coms, it's always just a bed." She's like, "We're already doing the fake dating." So eventually they get there, right? He's there a day before her. Mm-hmm. They only have to be in this room for one day. Mm-hmm. Okay, they only have to be in this room together for one night because he gets there the day before, and then she gets there the next day. So he's there for a day, sleeps, whatever, gets up, goes. She gets there the next day, goes into the room. There is, in fact, 2 beds.
How disappointing.
She said, "Okay." Notices the one that he's sleeping in because it's unmade or whatever, in the book's there. So she puts her stuff on the other bed by the window or whatever, gets set up. And she goes and gets ready and puts on this nice black wrap dress that she said she has. And she says, "I remember this being a lot longer." Well, it shows off her legs. She sends a picture to Malcolm and Ann. She said, "This was longer when I first bought it. Is this still okay?" And they said, "No, you still look very professional. You just look a little sexier, too." She walks out. She's standing there in heels that she borrowed from Ann's sister, in this wrap dress that she's had that's, you know, she said it comes like at her mid to 3/4 thigh, I guess, instead of like
above the knee.
Yeah, it's above the knee.
But just barely above the knee, where it's not really that scandalous, but it feels scandalous.
Yeah, it's about, like, I think she said it's about 1/2 to 3/4, okay? I believe. I could be wrong.
But it's growing like up how I grew up, that's my danger zone. Because I'm like, this feels very risque, and then it's like, your dress is practically
and
to
she's
your knees.
Also in a
not
very
risque at all.
Yeah. She's also in a very male-dominated field, too, so she's like, she doesn't want to push, like, a situation that's not great.
Be the pretty one.
Yes, and we are actually going to talk about the full book, by the way, because this book has been out for so long, I feel like we can talk about more spoilers. So if you would like to not have any more spoilers, you can just hop off now. It's a very cute story. It does happen in happily ever after. Cool. Great. We're going to keep trucking now. Because I want to talk about this book in its entirety because I think it's really important too.
Oh, man.
Because it's, like, real cute, like, tension. And without knowing what happens, you can't know about the spicy scene.
Alright.
So...
Does the spicy scene take place at the hotel?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I needed to know, because that's all I've been waiting for this whole episode.
So those of you on YouTube and Cecily, we're about here now. In this last little bit of the book now.
Okay, good. We're on the final countdown.
We're on the final countdown. So, oh yeah, it's like a slowy burn kind of, but with like the fake dating trope, so you get the good stuff still. It's very cute. You still get.
This is like Saltwater, where it was like chapter 23, we finally bone, and then there's only like 28 chapters.
Yes and no, because at least in this one, you still get them being together and being cozy and being attracted to each other, and like doing the romancy, like datey stuff.
Mm-hmm. The cute.
Because you still get the cutesy little stuff. Because Holden actually does go and hang out with them at the coffee shop at some point too.
Mm-hmm.
Between those three, and they actually do hang out and like chat, and that's when she finds out that they've been friends for so long and stuff. So, and Holden was actually on her committee when her first year. He was a part of her committee. And mind you, Holden knows exactly that it is Olive that
he holds all the secrets.
He knows that it's Olive that Adam has been going after this entire time and wanted to go after, but didn't have, like, the courage to do it, so she, whatever. That is a really cute scene, by the way. Mm-hmm. But anyway, also Malcolm, totally gone for Professor Rodriguez. Malcolm loves him. #1 member of his fan club. The president of said Holden Rodriguez fan club.
And which direction does Holden Rodriguez swing?
The correct one for that situation.
Ooh.
Malcolm, I believe, is bisexual. I believe he goes for both. He might just go for guys, but I do think he goes for both. But Holden, from what I understand in this book, I believe only goes for men. Yue is making a mess.
That was actually me.
How dare you?
I dropped my anti-fidget toy. So. You better hurry up.
I will. So anyway, that was a cute scene. But they go to this conference, right? She's dressed up in her nice thing. He comes into the room as she's ready and like about to leave. And he sees her and he just
swallows his tongue.
It legitimately just talks about how Adam walks in and his mouth just falls open. And she says, "Hello? Hi. It's good. I didn't think you'd be here already." He goes, Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna be here already. Like, whatever. And he goes, What time is your speech today? Because she was like, "Oh yeah, are you gonna come to it or whatever?" And then he goes, "What time is it?" She goes, "It's about halfway through the keynote speak, so I'm really happy that there's probably only gonna be like 15 people showing up, whatever, to my panel." And he goes, It's in the middle of the keynote?" And she goes, "Yeah, like one of the keynotes, like the main keynote." And he goes, and then she looks down at his badge for the conference. He's the keynote speaker. He is the keynote.
No.
And she said, he goes, "Olive, I'm so sorry." She goes, "You're the keynote. You didn't think to tell me that you were the keynote?" He goes, "I thought you would have known. You looked at the program, didn't you?" And she goes, in her head, she's like, "Oh my God, I should have known because his face was probably all over the thing in big letters with his name." She's like, "I didn't pay attention to that. I only paid attention to who else was on my panel." Guess who was on her panel? Tom.
Nah.
They do the panel. She stumbles over a couple of her words. Okay, cool. It happens. Everybody asks her a couple questions. Everybody's really happy for her. Ann and Malcolm are there. Like, I believe Holden even goes and is, like, really excited. They're all really happy for her that she got to do this. No. She records it. This is a big thing. She records it, right? Because her professor couldn't go, and she wanted to know how her thing went. So she records it on her phone. Just audio, but she records it for her. And her friends tell her congratulations afterwards. She had talked to a couple of the other people on the panel about her research and things a little bit. And they were really excited about meeting her and talking to her about it. So she goes to the... so she starts to head off stage. Tom corners her. Can you see where this is going now?
I'm concerned.
Tom corners her. Tells her basically along the lines of, basically tries to get her to sleep with him.
No.
Okay, so he actually does comment on her dress, being like, oh, this is just a preview for me because of, like, what I could, whatever, because of her legs. Yeah. Yeah! And then we get into the, she told him no, whatever. And then he said, Olive, you don't think I accepted you into my lab because you are good, do you?
No.
He said, a girl like you who figured out so early in her academic career that fucking well-known successful scholars is how to get ahead.
Absolutely not.
You fucked Adam, didn't you? We both know you're going to fuck me for the same reason.
I hope Adam punches his lights out.
She then said, you are disgusting, obviously. Mm-hmm. She feels like she's gonna vomit. And then she talks about how, like, she didn't actually know Adam yet, whatever. He says, oh, please, you're telling me you thought your pitiful abstract was selected for a talk because of its quality and scientific importance? Someone here has a very high opinion of herself, considering that her research is useless and derivative, and that she can barely put together 2 words without stuttering like an idiot.
Wow. Who got her the speaking spot? Did he do it?
No.
Oh.
You learn that he had nothing to do with it.
Good. Douche rocket.
And then she says that she's gonna tell Adam. And the guy says, okay, quick question. Who do you think Adam will believe, Olive? Some bitch he's been fucking for about 2 weeks, or someone who's been a close friend for years? Someone who helped him get the most important grant of his career? Someone who's had his back since he was younger than you are? Someone who's actually a good scientist?
Wow. He's pulling out all the stops.
And then you find out that it's really because he hates Adam being so good at what he does, and he's always jealous of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and I just want to take something from him. He goes, but he's not going to believe you if you tell him, so I'm fine. Well, she ends up back at the hotel room. She's crying.
Her phone was still recording.
Anyway, she ends up back at the hotel room. And... Hello, Justin. I can totally hear him.
He's like in another room of the house. I don't know.
I know. That's
so
fine.
Loud.
But anyway, she ends up... I can just hear the mumbles. I can't actually hear what he's saying. But she's sitting there crying, and he comes in, and he makes her feel better. She still doesn't tell him who it was. She just says it was somebody, she doesn't really know. Tells him the stuff in here, just not the sexually assaulty part. Just says that, people said that her stuff was derivative and this and that she only got this because she's his girlfriend, and he said, that's not how this works. And she said, what? And he goes, that's not how this works at all. It's blind. Like, they don't know whose project is whose. Oh, I forgot to mention, Tom also said that he's going to steal her work because she's essentially sent it all to him. So he could just replicate it and completely ruin her career.
What a dick.
If she says anything and doesn't come to Harvard.
What a dick.
Yeah. Not great. So she tells Adam all of this except for, the stuff that would legitimately point towards Tom. because she has no proof. She doesn't want to hurt Adam because he's finally got something that he actually really enjoys doing. And this grant was really important to him.
But she do have proof, don't she?
Possibly. But anyway, he cheers her up. He says, okay, I'm going to take you to dinner. You need to eat something, whatever. I'm sure it was fantastic. Also, please send me that recording of your thing. I want to see it. Because he knew that she was recording. He goes, I want to hear it, Olive. And she said, okay. And so she doesn't send it yet, though. But they go. And he's like, what do you feel like eating, this or that? And she, like, sees across the street, there's a conveyor belt sushi place. They go eat conveyor belt sushi, and he's very upset about it. But he eats 7 pounds worth of edamame.
Dear God.
Because he will not touch the stale sushi. She eats a lot of stale sushi. Then they end up going back to the hotel room. She's still in her heels and her dress. And she's like, oh, God, my feet hurt. He picks her up.
No.
He picks her up bridal style. And she goes, aren't I heavy? And he goes, yeah, you're so heavy. And then he picks her up with one arm and grabs the key card, unlocks the door, opens the door, still only holding her barely. Like, with one arm. He goes, you're not heavy, Olive. You're real light. And then they get to a point where, like, she's all happy and excited and, like, giddy, and they have sex.
Finally! But does she confess the true feelings?
Not yet.
Duh.
They, they do what they do. And because she doesn't think he likes her. She thinks that he likes some other girl. But she's like, this will be enough. Whatever. And he leaves the next day to go interview at Harvard to then go get a job at Harvard. So he can
be with her.
That is exactly what happens. He just wants to be with her. And Holden tells her this all later on. And so then she's, sad about the whole thing, whatever. I think this is about the time that she tells On the truth. Because her and Carlson are pretty much done, because it's after the deadline for him. And that's it. So they end up at the deadline. Cool, fantastic, great. He got his funds released, and she got what she needed, On to be with Jeremy and be comfortable enough to be with him. And she explains all this to On, and On's like, well, I'm upset that you lied to me. She goes, but you just said that you're in love with him. And she goes, I am, but I had to let him go. And she goes, Olive, that man is in love with you. Have you seen how he looks at you? And Malcolm's like, listen, I've never been a fan of the guy, but she's not wrong. You need to tell him. She goes, I can't, whatever. And so they're like, okay, well, whatever. We're going to go from this pity party and we're going to go hang out. They go to hang out, and then she's like, oh, you know what? I just realized I left my phone recording the entire time. I have 2 hours or whatever of this recording I have to edit out and stuff. She's playing it, just listening to dead air, essentially. Just making sure there's nothing important. Just cutting out little bits and pieces, backing up. And then there it is, the recording of him saying everything to her. And she just slams the space bar on her laptop to stop it. And they look up at her and go, All? What was that? And she's like, it's nothing. They take the laptop from her. Listen to the whole thing. She's like, I can't listen to it again. And they said, that's okay. We'll listen to it. We'll edit it, whatever, to keep it. Because that is important to have. Because they come back. She's in her own little space. They come back. Because they're, I believe, at this... No, they're still in the hotel. They come back or whatever. On is crying. Because it's she just listened to her friend essentially get sexually assaulted by this man. Sexually harassed by this man. Who is supposed to have been a professor and trustworthy and this and that. And On's like, you just got sexually harassed, sexually assaulted. You need to talk to somebody. You need to tell this. She goes, but I didn't, like, nothing. She goes, no, you did. She goes, does Carlson know about this? Did you tell him? She goes, no, because of the end part, like, where she goes, and Malcolm goes, he needs to know. By the way, at this point, Malcolm and Holden have gotten together. They did it at a party. And then so Malcolm asked him out to dinner, and their first dinner, Malcolm's entire family happened to be at this symposium because this conference, because his entire family goes to these things because they're all scientists. And so Malcolm and Holden had basically Thanksgiving dinner with Malcolm's entire family.
Well, that's nice.
For their first date. And they said, oh my God, I'm so sorry that went so poorly. And he said, no, actually it didn't. It went fantastical. So it was great. I just thought it was funny I mentioned it. Back to the thing. She's like, okay, cool. I will go tell him, whatever. She shows up at Harvard, asks the little secretary lady, it's like, please, like, I need to know where he's at. Like, I'm his student. She's like, lies and is like, I'm his undergrad and it's really important that I need to talk to him now. It's like a really important thing. She's like, lady does not buy it whatsoever, obviously. And is like, takes pity on the girl and goes, they're at this restaurant. Thank you. Goes to the restaurant. This girl goes to this restaurant. Okay, the Uber driver drops her off. She freaks out in the Uber. Okay, the Uber driver's like, listen, I am now, Uber driver helps her, calms her down, whatever. Says, listen, you better give me a good review, because, like, I just played therapist. Gets out of the car, ends up giving the Uber driver 125% tip. Goes into the restaurant. She's like, okay, cool, I can just text him, or just, like, get him to, you know, like, I'll text him, and then get him to look at his phone, and then he'll, you know, whatever. She's like, he doesn't have to pay attention to me, though. He sees her immediately. He, like, it's an immediate, like, instinct, like, she's here. Like, looks around, finds her immediately. Is in the middle of a conversation with this, as Olive says, beautiful woman from Harvard, associate.
Oh,
no. Immediately is, like, in this conversation, sees Olive, immediately says, oh, I'm so sorry, I have to, I have a thing to take care of. Walks away.
Good.
Cuts off his conversation, just walks away. And so he goes to talk to her, because he's like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Like, is everything okay? Because this man is in love with her. And he's like, this is my priority. It's the whole reason I'm at this stupid dinner. Goes to see her, talks to her, and they're talking or whatever, and then Tom comes up. And it's like, come on, like, you gotta come back. You can't just walk away from this. This, like, makes me look bad, too, because you just walked away from, like, a business dinner, you know, this and that. And he goes, give me a couple minutes, I'll be right there. And he goes, no, like, I'm not gonna leave until you come with me. And then Olive just presses play. He didn't notice Olive pulling, he did not notice Olive pulling the phone out, nothing. And it's, like, the middle of it where he's, like, telling her all of her stuff sucks, and that you're gonna sleep with me just like you slept with Carlson, and, you know, like that, right? And he, like, Adam just turns and doesn't look at her, doesn't look at Tom, looks at the phone, stares down at the phone, and just looks at and just says, what is that? She backs it up, plays the entire thing for him. Tom is sitting there trying to get the phone out of her way. Adam is, like, blocking him off. As soon as it all finishes, he legitimately turns around, has Tom up against the wall, like, held up by his throat, I think it is, and is about to punch him.
Yes.
And he says something about, like, how the fuck do you think that's okay to say to the woman I love?
Yes.
The woman that I'm in love with, or, like, that, like, it's literally the woman I'm in love with. And it's like, yes, go Carlson, go! But yeah, that ends up, he gets, Carlson and her figure their stuff out. She finally tells him, like, I'm in love with you, but she says it in Dutch, because that was his first language.
No.
She tells him in Dutch, and then you find out, like, that was in the epilogue that she tells him. But it's very cute. It's very fun. It's very fresh. She finds another advisor at Berkeley, I think it is. Something like that. Something closer. Obviously, Adam stays at Stanford as seen in The Deep End, which we talked about there. We're in that book. It's very cute. It's very fun. They get married, obviously, because that's the whole thing, is they are married in that next one. It's very cute. They love each other so much. But one of the things that she asks him very early on is, what's your favorite color? Because those are things that couples should know about each other. And he says, I don't know, I guess black. Like, that's, you know. And she's like, that's literally just the absence of all colors.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're, you know, they have, like, the awkward moment of, like, we don't have to do this. You can stop at any time, whatever, when they're, you know, having the funsies, the adult funsies. And he is legitimately just down there on her, like, getting ready to, like, dive in, eat a meal, okay? He's about to eat a meal. And he legitimately looks at her, and she's, like, you know, confused or whatever. He goes, I think I changed my mind. And she goes, oh, like, we need to stop. And he goes, my favorite color is definitely green. Because she's got green underwear on. Your face.
I didn't know where it was going, and I thought maybe eyes, but that's killing me.
He said, "Yeah, I think I changed my mind." And then, so I listened to the audiobook, right? And she has the bonus chapter, which is from his point of view of that night. And Teddy Hamilton voices it. And those of you who do listen to audiobooks understand the importance of Teddy Hamilton.
I was going to say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Teddy Hamilton is, like, in the top 5 male.
Is that the one you always
audiobook.
send me the Instagrams of?
No.
Or, oh.
That's just an Instagrammer.
Oh.
That's, PB Squamer. I send you PB Squamer all the time.
No, there's a guy that has all the comments or something. I thought it was one of the narrators.
No. He's not, no. That is completely different. Though I do send you PB Squamer a lot.
Lordy.
Anyway.
Shout out PB Squamer.
He's the lights out dude, okay? He's the real life Josh. That's what it is. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, that was very cute.
It is very cute, and I figured we'd get into that before I go, like, ham into the other stuff. Those of you who are on Spotify have not heard most of this. A lot of it's going to be over on YouTube, because my brain works funny. So I'm going to cut a lot of this out to make it Spotify length. And then if you want to hear the full uncut version of me actually talking more in depth about this book, please hop over to YouTube.
And all the nonsense.
Yeah, and all the nonsense that has to do with having a cat. I also have a cat in this room, by the way, and she's just been chill.
Good for you.
I had her for like half a second, and then she's gone. Where is she? Well, I gotta find her. That's not good. Oh, there she is. She's coming. Hi, baby. Yeah. But yeah, it's a very cute book. Highly recommend. Would smash Adam Carlson, by the way.
I mean, he definitely sounds like... She looks mad.
She always looks mad. That's just her default face.
She got the RBF.
She does, but look at her little face.
You're cute.
Little fish. Little booby.
And her extra toe beans.
With her little mutant paws. Mutant paws!
Anywho.
Would smash Adam Carlson.
He definitely sounds like one. Yeah, for sure. Holden sounds like one too, but he, wrong team.
They legitimately talk about how Malcolm talks about how him and Rodriguez after dinner went home, after dinner with Malcolm's entire family, went home. Also, Rodriguez killed at his family dinner. went home, he legitimately got his parents, like, love and admiration from bringing him to this dinner. He got full parent respect. Said, you really are grown up and you can do what you want with your life. Convinced them to be, like, okay with him going into industry rather than academia.
Oh.
And, like, it was a whole thing. And he was like, yeah, you know, I think it'd be great for him. Like, that's what he really wants to do, yada, yada. And, you know, they were like, you know what? You can do what you want with your life because obviously you have a good head on your shoulders. We've raised you right. You're very smart. You're very into it, whatever, because of this young man here.
Wow.
Hilarious. He then talks about how then they went back to his Holden's hotel room and 69'd all night.
Well then. All night? Like, that's a lot.
I guess so.
My jaw hurts thinking about that.
I was gonna say, they jaw be hurting.
Like, that's a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I'm getting a cramp just thinking about it.
Anyway, if you want updates on the episodes and when we post and different fun things, go follow us on Instagram at Sweet and Spicy Pod. Follow us on YouTube and subscribe on YouTube. Yeah. Please subscribe to us. It's cool. We'd love it. We're trying to get more out there.
It will get better.
Yeah. I just, you know, I'm trying, guys.
We're trying our best.
My backdrop has not quite been finished yet. It's just painted walls currently. But that's fine. It'll get there. I just haven't had the time.
I have a wall and a curtain.
You have a very pretty backdrop.
And I have my little bird calendar. This is actually this was the calendar from the year I was born. So
nice.
You get to see how old I am.
What else do we have? I think that's it, right? Spotify?
I think that's
Follow us
it.
on Spotify or where else?
Spotify, Instagram, YouTube.
YouTube is uncut. Highly recommend listening to the uncut versions of these. They are crazy.
Tangents. Yeah. Lots of tangents.
Yeah. There are lots of tangents, lots of kiddie fun, lots of waiting for sounds to die down.
Watch the YouTube. You see
No! Cecily! No! I was gonna say you see our very random reactions to things, but that works too.